Hello, America. JOC here with your ranting politics headline updates, where we are diving into today's most explosive political stories that you need to know about. Coming up, President Trump has officially ordered the dismantling of the Department of Education. We'll break down exactly where all those responsibilities are headed and what it means for the $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio. Then, Boeing just scored a massive contract to build America's next-generation fighter jet, the F-47. It's being called the most advanced aircraft ever built, and according to Trump, America's enemies will never see it coming. And finally, Bernie Sanders is taking no prisoners on his Fighting Oligarchy Tour, targeting not just Trump and Elon Musk, but also taking aim at his own Democratic Party colleagues. He and AOC are packing stadiums while calling for Democrats who fight harder. Stick around for all this and more in your daily dose of unfiltered news and common sense commentary. This is Ranting Politics Headline Updates. In a major shakeup of federal government structure, President Trump has officially ordered the Department of Education to begin winding down operations. According to reporting from the New York Post, the DOE's responsibilities won't simply vanish, they'll be strategically redistributed to other agencies. During an Oval Office press briefing on Friday, Trump revealed that the massive $1.6 trillion federal student loan portfolio will now fall under the purview of the Small Business Administration, led by Kelly Loeffler, whom Trump described as a terrific person. The president emphasized this transfer would happen immediately and that the SBA is all set for it. Meanwhile, Health and Human Services, now under the leadership of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., will take charge of funding for special needs students and all the nutrition programs and everything else, according to Trump's announcement. The president's Thursday mandate instructed Education Secretary Linda McMahon to take all legally available steps to shut down the department, though complete dismantling would ultimately require congressional approval. The DOE currently handles significant responsibilities beyond loans, including civil rights law enforcement in education settings, research on educational best practices, and the development of student performance assessments known as the nation's report card. Trump justified the move by pointing to what he sees as a poor return on America's educational investment. After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, and spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But yet we rank near the bottom of the list in terms of success. Many of the department's functions will be returned back to the states, with Trump specifically noting that the student loan transfer to the SBA isn't intended to disrupt repayments. Coinciding with this announcement, the SBA revealed plans to reduce its workforce by 43%, which it characterized as ending the expansive social policy agenda of the prior administration and returning to pre-pandemic staffing levels. This is the most significant structural change to federal education oversight in decades and represents a fulfillment of a long-standing conservative goal to eliminate the Department of Education. Big news for America's aerospace industry and military capabilities as President Trump announced Boeing will build the next-generation fighter jet, the F-47, for the U.S. Air Force. According to Fox News, Trump made this announcement from the Oval Office with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth by his side. I'm thrilled to announce that at my direction, the United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first sixth-generation fighter jet. Nothing in the world comes even close to it, and it'll be called the F-47. The generals picked that title, Trump stated. The contract was awarded to Boeing after what Trump described as a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies. Perhaps most surprising was Trump's revelation that an experimental version of this advanced aircraft has secretly been flying for nearly 5 years. The president didn't hold back on his assessment of the aircraft's capabilities, declaring, "The F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. America's enemies will never see it coming." This announcement marks a significant policy shift from the previous administration. The F-47 will be built as part of the Next Generation Air Defense Initiative, commonly known as NGAD, which had been paused under President Biden. Defense Secretary Hegseth specifically noted that the Biden administration was prepared to potentially scrap it before Trump revived the program. Hegseth emphasized the strategic importance of the aircraft, saying it sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we can and will be able to project power around the globe, unimpeded for generations to come. Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin, also present at the announcement, described the F-47 as what peace through strength looks like into the future, and thanked the president for supporting this advancement in American air superiority. Senator Bernie Sanders is making waves as he crosses the western United States on his aptly named Fighting Oligarchy Tour alongside progressive powerhouse Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The 83-year-old firebrand isn't just taking aim at Republicans, he's setting his sights on his own party as well. In a wide-ranging interview with Fox News Digital before addressing a crowd of over 11,000 at Arizona State University, Sanders didn't mince words about the American political landscape. What the American people see and what the polling suggests and voter registration suggests is not a whole lot of faith in either party, Democrats or Republicans, Sanders emphasized, pointing to recent polls showing Democratic Party favorability at all-time lows. The Vermont senator, who has long caucused with Democrats while maintaining his independent status, argued that Americans perceive correctly that both political parties are dominated by big money interests. His harshest criticism was reserved for Elon Musk, who poured nearly $300 million into Trump's successful campaign. Then he's awarded with the most important position in government. He's essentially running the government, Sanders said of Musk's role leading the Department of Government Efficiency. Does that make sense to people? It doesn't. But Sanders didn't stop there, turning his criticism inward toward his Democratic colleagues. Democrats also have a whole lot of billionaires funding their campaigns, he noted, adding that Americans want to end this corrupt campaign finance system, which allows billionaires in both parties to buy elections. During their rally, Sanders declared, "We have a message for Mr. Trump, and that is, we will not allow you to move this country into an oligarchy." Ocasio-Cortez echoed this sentiment while challenging her own party, telling the crowd, "We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us." While the tour explicitly targets Trump and billionaires like Elon Musk, it's also revealing significant internal Democratic Party friction. AOC made this clear in Arizona, telling supporters, "We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us. That means each and every one of us choosing and voting for Democrats and elected officials who know how to stand for the working class." Sanders, in his Fox News digital interview, highlighted concerning polls showing Democratic Party favorability at historic lows. What the American people see is not a whole lot of faith in either party, Sanders explained, adding that Americans perceive correctly that both political parties are dominated by big money interests. This criticism comes as Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer faces backlash for supporting a Republican federal funding bill that averted a government shutdown. When pressed about calls for Schumer to step down, Sanders deflected, calling it inside the Beltway stuff, but rally attendees were less reserved. Cindy Garman from Prescott told Fox News she was really disappointed with Schumer, while Amanda Ratloff from Gilbert insisted, "Schumer is not the leader we need right now. We need somebody that will actually fight back." This progressive challenge represents a critical juncture for Democrats. With Republicans controlling all branches of government, progressives argue that Democrats must adopt bolder resistance strategies rather than seeking compromise. This internal struggle could reshape the party's approach to opposing Trump's agenda and define its identity heading into future elections. Well, folks, that wraps up today's whirlwind tour through the political landscape. We've covered President Trump's dramatic dismantling of the Department of Education, redistributing its duties to the SBA and HHS in what he calls a move to improve efficiency. Boeing scored big with the contract for the F-47, America's first sixth-generation fighter jet that Defense Secretary Hegseth claims our enemies will never see coming. And we took a deep dive into Bernie Sanders' Fighting Oligarchy Tour, where he and AOC are taking aim not just at Trump and Musk, but at their own Democratic Party leadership as well. What we're witnessing is nothing short of a fundamental reshaping of government and political alliances. Trump's administration is flexing executive power while progressives are demanding their party develop a backbone. Meanwhile, billions in contracts and sweeping departmental changes are happening at breakneck speed. Follow us on X at RantingRP. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, or visit us at rantingpolitics.com, where we cut through the noise to deliver the unfiltered truth that matters to you. This is JOC, signing off, and thank you, our loyal listeners, for choosing Ranting Politics headline updates. We'll be back soon with the updates you need to navigate these interesting times. Until then, stay tuned, stay informed, and as always, stay free.